Hey guys, welcome back. So today's tutorial is on this cheetah cat inspired look that I did for you today, and it's overall fairly easy. I don't use a ton of products, so I hope it is easy for you to achieve. If you do recreate it, feel free to comment below or show me on Instagram by hashtagging Ray of Sunshine Beauty, and let's go ahead and jump right into the tutorial. Bye guys. Hi guys, how are you? Let's go ahead and jump into the video. And first, let's just say I'm not naked. Come on, of course I have clothing on. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm first starting just with a foundation on my skin. I'm doing a light coverage today, but feel free to do a full coverage if you'd like. I'm using the Makeup Forever HD foundation just to do a light coat. And next I'm going to go in and do some cream contouring. I'm using the darkest shade from the Anastasia. I know. It's dark, but it's supposed to be. I'm using the darkest shade from the Anastasia Cream Contour Kit, the medium one, and I'm really just doing my normal contour routine. I'll link it down below. I have a tutorial. I'll link that in the description box below, but doing the same routine, just a little bit more aggressive in the colors than I normally would. So here I am just trying to really place all that product and blend it out as much as I can. I know it can't be fully blended out because, let's be real, it looks ridiculous right now, but it's okay. It's all going to come together with the look, so don't be scared. Next, using the same color in a smaller brush, I'm just going to go ahead and contour my nose a little bit. I feel like a cat has a pretty defined nose, and I want to do that in my tutorial today. So that's what I'm doing here, just bringing it on the sides of the nose and up to the eyebrows a little bit, just again defining it, giving it a little bit more dimension. So since we're done contouring, we're going to go ahead and highlight. We used a really dark color to contour, so we're going to use a really light color to highlight. I'm using the Urban Decay Weightless concealer, and I'm placing that in all the places that I normally would when I highlight, but I am putting a little bit extra above my lip area there just because I feel like the cat has a little bit of a lighter color. So again, going in and doing my normal highlighting where I normally would in a regular face, even if I'm not a kitty cat, and that's what I'm doing here. So now I'm going in with the damp beauty blender. I'm just going to blend out all that highlighting that we just did. Now, if you don't have a beauty blender, because they are fairly expensive, there are other alternatives, other different versions. I will link them in the description box below. You could also use your finger if you really wanted. Use whatever you have to blend out that highlighter that we just did. But like I said, there are alternatives if you don't have a beauty blender. But here I am using a damp beauty blender to blend that all out. So now that we're done with the cream part, I'm going to go ahead in and set it all. So we're using this banana powder. This is from Nye, and first I'm just putting that banana powder all on the light areas where we highlighted. And then we'll go ahead in and set all the contour areas with the powdered contour shade. So basically the same concept as you normally would do, again, highlighting and contouring with both cream and powdered products. So that's what I'm doing here. All the products that I'm using I'll be listing in the description box below, as along with all of the brushes that I used, in case you are wondering what I'm using here. So next, going on to the brows. As you can see in the front here, I'm kind of just going up in an upward motion to create a little bit of a flare, almost like a little bit of a wolf type eyebrow. I'm filling in the rest normally, but I am doing that little flare just in the front portion of the eyebrow. So this is what both of them should look like. I'm just using the dip brow from Anastasia, but feel free to use what you normally would for your brows. So now we're going in some paint. I'm going to go ahead and create the nose here. These paints, side note, are what I'll be using in pretty much all my tutorials. They are from Wolfe FX, and they are water activated paint. So I basically just dipped my brush here in some water and then dipped it into the paint, and that's how I'm creating this color right here. Love them so much. Highly recommend them. Again, I'll link the description box below where you can get them. But here I am just creating the nose. You want to just stay a little bit lower on the nose, not bring it up too high. And this is what it should look like so far. So now I'm just dragging down that black shade, just making a line from the nose to the lips, and then we're going to move to the lips. Now I thought this lipstick that I'm putting on here, this is Potion from Anastasia Beverly Hills. I always thought it was black, but now looking at it next to the black, it's not black. It's like a really dark purple. So that's what I'm using only on the upper lid, and we'll come back to the lips a little bit later. So let's move to the eyes for just a few, and I'm using here the NYX Jumbo Pencil. This is in the shade Milk. I also use this in a lot of my tutorials, so I definitely would recommend getting it if you plan on recreating any of my looks. I'm just using this as an eyeshadow base, and I'm just blending it out with my finger. Again, this is just going to help make the eyeshadows a little bit more vibrant and help them last a little bit longer. I'm also going to place that eyeshadow, not eyeshadow, place that pencil on the lower lash line just because we're going to be going down there later as well. So now I'm going to focus on the eyes using the same technique that I use in pretty much all of my tutorials. I'm going to start with a transition shade. This is Cocoa Bear from Makeup Geek, but feel free to use any warm brown tone that you have. And again, this is just going to go back and forth in that crease area, just creating that transition shade for the next shade that we'll be going in with. And I'm just using a large fluffy brush to do this. Next, we're going to go in with this shade right here. This is Mocha from Makeup Geek. This is just any brown eyeshadow that you have. I'm going to be placing this a little bit lower than we did with Cocoa Bear, and then I'm also going to be dusting it across the lid. It doesn't have to be super precise. We're going to be doing some pretty large cat eye eyeliner wings, so the eyes really aren't going to have too much attraction to them up here. So just do the best that you can, just blending it in, and again, placing this brown Mocha shade in the crease area a little bit below where we put Cocoa Bear, and also on the lid area as well. So I did feel like I wanted to put a little bit more dimension to the look, so I took a pencil brush and I took a matte black shadow. This is Corrupt from Makeup Geek, and I precisely put this just in the crease. So I know it looks a little choppy right now, but I'm going to go ahead in with a big fluffy brush after this with no additional product and blend it out. So you can totally skip this stuff if you want. I just wanted a little bit more dimension in the eyes. So again, this big, large fluffy brush right here, it does not have any additional product on it. It's just strictly here to help me blend out that black that I just placed there just a moment ago. But now we are going to move in and go to the eyes, which I think is probably the biggest piece, second biggest piece besides the dots of this look. This is the same technique that I use with all my eyeliners. I will actually link my liner video below, but all I'm doing is starting on the lid, drawing out how big I want the wing to be, connecting it to the center, and then filling in that triangle. Like I said, I do this in all my tutorials that have wings. It's just making the wing a little bit bigger than I normally would. Actually, who am I kidding? That's like a normal wing for me, but it might be a little bit larger than most people's, but you know. Doing the same thing to the other eye as well. As you can see, again, starting on the lid, really sticking close to that lash line, and just drawing out how large I want the wing to be, connecting it to the center of the lid, and then filling in the triangle. And this is what it should look like so far. Try and make them as identical as possible. I know it never happens, but do your best. Now this part gets a little bit tricky. We're going to be kind of creating this false line underneath, just like a wing we did on top. We'll just be doing it below, but it's going to kind of go in a different direction than you would think. We're not going to connect it to the inner corner of the eye. We're going to go in this direction that you see here. So this is what kind of gives it that fun cat-like look, I think. So I'm just connecting it from the actual wing that we made and going towards the center. So doing the same thing on both sides, and I don't know if I mentioned this, but this is the Inglot Gel liner, but you could use a liquid liner or whatever liner that you have. I find this to be easiest, but use whatever you have. So now that we're done with the liner for right now, we're going to go ahead and highlight that inner corner area. Use any white shadow that you have. I chose today to use White Lies from Makeup Geek. What I'm doing is taking a shadow brush and just highlighting that underneath area that we just created from the eyeshadow. So here we are. I wanted to just extend the upper liner a little bit further in the inner corner, so that's all I'm doing here, just extending it a little bit further down the eye. And next I'm going to move to the whiskers. Now I'm not using the eyeliner anymore, the Inglot one. I'm moving back to the Wolfe FX paint, but if you wanted, you could still use your eyeliner as well. All I'm doing is creating these little lines. I do 3 on each side, and it actually was kind of hard to keep straight and do these, but do the best that you can. I'm just using an eyeliner brush, but again, I'm just using the Wolfe FX paint. So this is what they should look like so far. Sorry, I know I'm a little bit out of focus, but we'll get back to focus. There we are. So now I'm taking that same eyeliner, I'm sorry, not eyeliner, I'm taking that paint. I'm just going to go ahead and create little freckles, little whiskers where the whiskers are. And all I'm doing is placing little dots. Now moving on to the fun part. So I think this is the biggest part of the look. And now we're going to go ahead and create the actual cheetah or cat-like spots. All I'm doing is taking that Mocha shadow on a dense fluffy brush, and I'm just making little dots on my face. I chose to only do part of my face and down my neck, but you could do the whole face if you wanted, or you could do just a certain part on your body. Like I said, I just chose to do one side and on the right side of my body. Now I'm going back in with that Wolfe FX paint, and I'm just creating little C shapes on the brown dots that we put. You don't want to really pull them together so they're full circles, but you just want to kind of make these non-symmetrical little black C shapes along all of the little dots that we created. There's no pattern to this, honestly. When you put it all together, it does not matter if you do them all exactly, and in fact, you probably don't want to do them all the same. Just go in different directions, different shapes, different C's. Don't be nervous if you mess up. Just keep on going and then we'll move on. So this is what it should look like so far. But I wanted to give it a little bit more dimension. So I'm going in with a warmer eyeshadow. This is the color Cocoa Bear that we used in our transition shade on our eyes. I'm just placing a little bit of that color on each of the dots that we made, again, just to give it some more dimension. So now we've done the darker mocha shade, I'm adding some warm, and then next we're actually going to go in and highlight with the white shadow. So again, just going and doing all the dots, I'll just let you watch me here, and then now I'm going in with the white shadow, doing the same thing, giving a little bit of highlight. All I'm doing is placing a little bit of that shadow on each of the dots, and then we're going to move on to the next step. Now going back to the lips for a second, I only did the top line earlier, so I'm going to go ahead and do the bottom. I'm decided to use a pinkish, really nude color from Anastasia. This is in the shade Milkeshake, but feel free to use whatever you'd like, or do all the lips in black. Totally up to you. Just make sure you're using a matte shade so that they don't transfer the color, or just do one color altogether. Now off camera, I'm going to go ahead and pop on these really fun lashes, not because I don't want to show you, just because it was terrible and they were so hard to put on. Same with the contacts, going to pop in the contacts, and this is the final look, you guys. So I hope that you guys like how it came out. I really love it. I think it was overall fairly easy. Let me know if you liked it in the comment section below, and I will see you guys soon in my next tutorial. Happy October. I'll see you guys soon. Bye.